all-inclusive things. And
Go.
oh, not yet. Just real quick. I just want to say I haven't given a PowerPoint presentation in literally 10 years. So
You're gonna be great.
okay. Oh right, this is okay.
You have time.
Yeah,
Okay,
15
well, let's
seconds.
start the next
20,
one.
50
But,
seconds,
okay,
huh?
all right. So sexual pleasure is taboo. We don't usually talk about it, even with our closest friends. We culturally associate it with things like frivolousness, selfishness, shame, embarrassment, and why? Like, is that, like, what good is that doing? It's the most adult topic that there is, but we don't deal with it like adults. Like we as adults deal with other things that we value and want to make better. Pleasure, I'm here to say, is actually really good. Not only does it feel good by definition, but it also is good for us, as in wholesome. So I work for a research startup that partners with the Kinsey Institute and IU School of Medicine. And we do original research on sexual pleasure. It has been on women, and we're branching out to men now too. And we publish scientific papers, and we also produce a website that's educational so that people can put the latest research findings into practice in their own lives. And our research partners recently did a efficacy study of that website. So they took 1,000 people who'd never been to the site before, and they gave them a survey. And then after a month of using the techniques on the site, they gave them a survey again. And they found that, yes, people's pleasure increased. They felt, they had more orgasms, they had more pleasurable sex, but they also had experienced pleasure in ways that felt new to them physically they had never had before. And it's not rocket science, it's just new ways of touching. It's not even new, because the information came from people who aren't talking about it with each other. There was another finding that I think is really surprising. In that survey, they also included a commonly used scale that's used to assess life thriving, general self-efficacy. And so it included questions like, I generally feel like people in my community respect me. I think I'm a good person. I feel comfortable speaking up at work and sharing my ideas. And people's numbers on those questions moved as well. And the researchers determined that that move was mediated by the increased pleasure. So pleasure feels good and is good for us, makes us feel better about ourselves and our own lives. However, most people have one or two techniques when they masturbate that they use that really work for them. Usually it's something they discovered when they were younger and exploring. And then over time they perfect them. Kind of like a recipe. You might know someone who has like one or two dishes that they're really good at and they make over and over. But it turns out there are as many types of pleasure as there are types of food. In our last minute here, I'm going to share with you one of the topics from our site, which is broadening. It's really simple. It's the idea of whatever is contacting the clit or the vulva, instead of being a point source, being a more broad surface area, diffuse source of stimulation. And 87% of women like this kind of stimulation. Usually, all of those 87% like it, especially in the beginning, and for about half of them, it's enough to achieve orgasm. They like it that much. And here are some ways to do it. Fingertip becomes pads of fingers, tip of the penis or dildo becomes shaft, tip of the tongue becomes flat of the tongue, and so on. It's something everyone could try tonight. And one subtype of broadening is grinding. And it's basically the same idea, but about half of women do this, and they do it against soft furniture or things like rolled up towels. And even though about half of women do it, 80% of them have never told a soul that they do it. And we asked them why not, and they said, because I thought it was just my own weird thing. So we're all living in isolation when it comes to our pleasure, and that's really too bad because we have a lot to learn from each other and a lot to gain by learning more about it.